My body wanted to orient to him quickly. My body wanted to solve this for him quickly. My mind wanted to give him lots of viable solutions. But in this space, he didn't need my answers. He needed my steadiness. Nothing needs to be solved right here, right now. Welcome to Reweaving Systems from Nervous to Regulated. I'm Jana, educator, system weaver, and our full-time master regulator. This is not a podcast. This is an attunement lab. Here we move through a living sequence, a truth, a pause, a moment of bracing, and a breath that brings us back. We name the nervous system, Shalom, as companion. We name survival responses as intelligent. And we open the sanctuary door from the inside. Nothing needs fixing. Welcome to the sanctuary. Let the weaving begin. This is Reweaving Systems from Nervous to Regulated. I'm Jana Shalom. You're listening to Season 1, The Sanctuary. This is Arc 2, where nothing has to be done. This is the last quarter moon. Something is softening into view, very quietly and at its own pace. This episode is called, Why Does Everything Feel Just a Little Less Tight than it did before? We're standing in the garage. The door is halfway open, letting cool evening air into the room. Something in this space is moving slowly. Tools hang on the wall beside us. Storage bins are stacked in the corner. A basketball is resting on its side near the steps leading into our home. My son is pacing across the concrete floor in front of me. He's talking quickly. Lots of ideas are coming out one after the other, moving from one idea right into the next with no pause. Before the last thought can even land, the next thought is already arriving. His hands are moving while he's talking. His arms are crossing and uncrossing. He's running his hands through his hair. His body is clearly uncomfortable. He stops for half a second, but then starts moving right away again, almost automatically, as though it's doing so without his thought. Earlier, everything inside him felt sharp and immediate. One problem attached itself to another problem, one fear pulling on an older fear that's held behind it. Something about today has opened the door to other moments that have never fully settled inside of him. And now all of them seem to be arriving together at the same time, compounding on top of each other. If this happens again, what if they think this means something about me? What if next time it gets even worse? The ideas keep continuing to pour out. Some of them contradict each other almost immediately. One solution appears, and then another, but then contradicted by another thought. The confusion is there. The confusion is visible because none of this is fully landing. Not because he isn't trying, but because his nervous system is not in a place where it can actually come up with coherent answers. So instead, it's searching faster than his body can actually settle. Earlier, my attention kept wanting to organize the conversation, to pull at one of the threads, to listen to something he said, to grab onto it and answer that piece, to calm it right then and there, quickly and easily. But my body, instead of interrupting, chose to simply stay with him in the moment. Instead of stepping in before he's even ready to have a conversation, I decided just to stay with him while he was stretching for answers, while his mind was processing what was happening. Nothing about my movement changed, except for my decision to stay steady while all of this was unfolding for him in real time. My body wanted to orient to him quickly. My body wanted to solve this for him quickly. My mind wanted to give him lots of viable solutions. But in this space near the workbench, in this space near the toys from his childhood, in this space, he didn't need my answers. He needed my steadiness. Nothing needs to be solved right here, right now. His hands rest against the edge of the table. And even though his ideas are still moving, the garage stands steady and quiet around us. We can hear the soft hum of the outdoor refrigerator that holds our beverages. We can hear the sounds of cars passing somewhere along our street. His words gradually begin to slow. His body doesn't fully settle, but his mind and thoughts begin to come out less crowded. Every thought seems to begin to arrive, carrying less urgency. And now something more simple begins. He leans back against the wall for just a moment, and as he talks, he realizes that his shoulders have fallen. His breath is stretching further with each exhale. And I notice the cool air moving around the garage again. The feeling of standing in my shoes on this concrete floor that's holding not just me, but my attention and my awareness that this instant is going to continue to move and unfold. But it doesn't need me to predict how the conversation is going to end. It doesn't need me to prevent what might happen next. It doesn't need me to reach for the future and solve what is unfolding. This conversation feels much different. It just feels like a moment where we are here together inside of it. Neither one of us is trying to get to the end result anymore. He continues to talk. I continue to stay present with him. Sentence by sentence, pause by pause, more space is built. And now in the middle of a thought, without rushing to replace it, enough space exists where silence can begin to thread, where the overanalysis begins to be replaced by just being in the moment without having answers. At this point, I notice he exhales deeply. And as his body relaxes into the wall that is supporting him, nothing dramatic is unfolding. His body is loosening around the edges, and a few seconds later, I notice my own body loosening and exhaling for a moment too. The conversation feels less like it needs me to solve things, and more as though we're carrying a shared load together. Nothing has been fixed, nothing has been solved, and nothing has been changed. The fear is still there. The uncertainty is still moving. But he's not alone in it. And he's not being asked to push through it and rush through it and to solve it. And in this awareness, we realize something feels different. Not because the whole situation changed, but because neither one of us is trying to outrun what is unfolding. Instead, we keep moving with it. His words keep coming, but the immediate resolution to solve it falls away. I remain with him. The garage remains holding us. The cool air, the quiet sounds, the slow rhythm beginning to return to his voice as urgency's grip begins to loosen. This is the space to listen. This is the space to breathe, the space where the conversation unfolds at its own pace. Not somewhere inside that's expecting everything to be solved, but somewhere together in the moment where together we can loosen the bracing, even if it's just for a short time. But we are here now together, inside, not here to solve, but here to be present together. The last quarter moon settles around us. Some shifts arrive quietly and they still matter. Not because everything changed, but because we stayed here together just a little longer. And as always, we don't have to do this alone. On the next new moon, we begin the final arc of season 1, where nothing has to be known. Until we weave again, the loom rests, and so do we.